Hi, this is Miss Cindy. I first want to start out with hoping everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and a happy, healthy, prosperous New Year. A couple of weeks ago, I did a little, I guess, winter cleaning and that spring cleaning because I have been doing crafts since I was a kid. And this is my hobby, and I've been doing it all of these years. We're talking about 40, 50 years of doing crafts. Anyway, I don't buy anything at regular price, at retail price, unless I absolutely need it. So when I see stuff on sale, I just pick it up. Anyway, going through and organizing, putting stuff together, I have so much craft supplies. Whether they're beads, whether it's fabric, whether it's wood, paint, I just have so much. So I decided instead of starting new stuff that I want to attempt, I'm going to try to do some projects with supplies I already have. So I don't have to buy any canvas, any paint, any wood, anything. And also take this opportunity to practice, train myself to do something. And that's what I did this week. I had some gold leafing that I bought that I wanted to do for a Christmas card, for my Christmas cards, my craft Christmas gifts. And it wasn't a disaster, it was an absolute disaster. So I had to turn around and come up with another idea that I could do my Christmas cards with. But I spent money on the gold leafing. So what it meant was since I didn't have a clue what I was doing, I had to practice it. So I did that this week, and I just wanted to show you a project that I did. Everything that I do is not on video, but I want to show this to you because I've tried different things, and I've learned a couple of things along the way, which I'm passing on to you. This may be something that you want to try. And then I'll go in, after I explain this to you, I'll go in and explain what this video is about. This is the gold leafing that I had a disaster with. So I got a small wood plank and I practiced on it. And this one came out really good. So at least I have the idea of how gold leafing works. It's not easy. You have to be careful. You have to take your time. But at least I finally got something where the gold leafing worked. This here that I put this gold leafing on is nothing but wood. I used to do a lot of stuff with wood, build doll houses, room boxes. So I have wood left over. And after I did that wood canvas project, I said, you know what? I can make my own canvases. So this wood I already had. It was already cut. And I wanted to use it with this plank. So far, I have not spent a dime, okay? This Eye of Horus is a wood cutout. I refurbished about 4 years ago an antique table using the Eye of Horus as a theme. But I got this wood cutout too big. So I got a little one. The table's finished. It's gorgeous. It's sitting in my bedroom. But this is something else I had just sitting around. So I decided to use that. So anyway, all of this is supplies I already had from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the art spectrum. So I decided to try to put something together, just be creative, make it pretty, make it unique. But along the way, I learned a couple of things. And that's what I want to share with you, just to give you an idea of when you use your imagination and creativity and attempt something, it's okay to mess up. But just practice it. Just attempt it. Go with your vision and see how it comes out. And I'm really pleased with this one. So, first thing is, I taught myself how to do the gold leaf. This is not perfect, but this is a whole lot better than when I first tried it. This, all I did was paint it, the Eye of Horus. And instead of painting the eye, I used the white glitter. Okay. This is just a piece of board, which I gessoed and did the pour. However, I did something different on the pour. This is the Dutch pour with the blow dryer. And because I wanted this to stick down firm, I taped off the middle. I have never done a Dutch pour with that blow dryer with anything taped up. It's always the whole canvas. But I didn't do that this time. I actually started my paints on the outside of this square and blew out. And as you can see, it worked. This underneath this plank is solid. It's nothing on there but wood and the gesso, which I sand down. The other thing I tried was I tried framing this with rope. So you can see. All I did was glue it down with rope. So this is the end project. Didn't cost me a dime. I just had to practice different things to see if I could learn different techniques on the way and see if they worked. And actually, this worked. So that's what I wanted to show to you. And I wanted to preference with this because of the next project that I'm doing. This is a huge canvas. This is my last huge canvas. And I'm going to, there's a couple of things I want to learn how to do. I want to practice how to do it. So that's why I'm doing it on this canvas. But in the meantime, see all of this wood, all of these wood planks and stuff that I've picked up along the way? All of this was just packed and stored up. I said I'm going to use it. So the idea for this one is to use a canvas that I already had. I traced some of the squares. I've got some rectangles, some squares, some of the squares, and then the big ones I actually had to do freehand. But I want to practice blending. So this is nothing I can teach you because I'm practicing, but I will show you my progress along the way. All I want to do is see the really big areas that I want to see if I can blend acrylic paint. I've got, 4 different sets of acrylic paint from Dick Blick to Liquitex. I don't use them. And it doesn't make sense to have all of this stuff and not use it. So that's what I said I was going to do. I'm going to practice my blending on this big canvas. And then for the wood planks, a couple of them I will probably do a pour on and glue those on. And then we're just going to see how it comes out. Once again, no rhyme, no reason. I'm just trying to use some of the supplies that I already have here to make something that's pretty, that's different, and that's unique. Anyway, I will be back when I get started. Okay, so I've taped this canvas. And the 4 big spots that I taped off, that's where I'm going to be trying to practice my blending. I was going to go with the Liquitex. I've used this once before, and it worked nicely, even though I didn't know what I was doing. But it did work somewhat. And then I got 2 other acrylic paints, but I also have the golden acrylic paint. And this paint came with a gloss glazing liquid, which I can mix with the paint and keep it wet so that it doesn't dry up too quick because I'm trying to blend. I normally just put a little paint in a cup with a little bit of water, get it nice and loose, and then do my blending. And I put the brush in there. As you can see, once again, I finally went through and organized. I got all these blending brushes, only a couple I've used. So I put them all in one bag so I know where they all are. Most of these are soft bristle brushes that that you're supposed to use for blending. Like I said, I haven't done this but a couple of times. So that's about it. What I'll do is I will start because I don't know what I'm doing. I got to take my time. And as I progress, I will come back and keep you updated on how it's coming out. The other thing I thought the other idea I came up with is on the small wood, the square wood planks that I'm going to put on here. I think I'm going to paint those, and I may do pours on those. And they're real small, so that I will probably show you because I'm going to experiment to see if I can do a small pour as opposed to, a whole canvas. Just put it on a wood plank, and we'll see how it comes out. I wanted to do that is because with the pour, if you use the strainer pour, it when it comes out of the strainer, it looks like a flower. But then once you tilt it or too much paint, it runs down the side and you lose that flower effect. So I'm going to see if I can use just a little bit of paint and keep that pour where it looks like a flower, and then just leave it alone. Just let it dry. I won't tilt it or anything. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it. I already have this camera set up. The first blending did not come out well. I used 10 different brushes, and I don't know if I don't have the right wrist movement or the pressure. So all of this is a practice. I didn't like the way it came out. I got the color on, and then out of 10 brushes, I could not find, and all of them are soft bristles, a good brush to get the streaks out. So anyway, I'm moving on because I have three more spots that I have to practice on. In the meantime, the idea that I'm going with was that's the first section. So I want to do a strainer pour on this small, I think this is a 5x5 wood plank to go next to that one. So I'm using the exact same colors, a red and a yellow. I didn't put any, this is also new, I didn't put any Floetrol on my base as a base. I have Floetrol, one part in the color. So, because I don't want it to run off, I want it to try to stay as close as possible to the center. So anyway, we're going to go and do this and see how this comes out. So, excuse me if my hand is in the camera, but I have to take my time and be real slow doing this. I don't know if this is going to move without Floetrol on the base, but we shall see. And I also didn't want any white to show up, so we're just going to go for it, see what happens. Once again, all of this is just practicing, and it is coming out on the bottom though. The other thing is my border, when I'm finished with this, and my brother gave me a suggestion. He says I'm very color coordinated, and since I couldn't decide what the background I was going to do on this, he suggested that I come out of my element and just go for it. So I may do some crazy color that I normally would not do. But we'll have to see. Anyway, it is flowing out, and it's flowing out in that flower pattern that I was looking for. And it's moving slowly, which is also what I'm looking for. Okay, let me do one more. Once I pull this up, I can't go back, so I would like to get it as close to the edges as possible. And I think I'm going to stop there. All right. So we're going to let that sit just for a couple of seconds. And then I'm going to pull it up. This particular strainer, the inside should have nothing in it. So I'm just going to see if I can just pull some paint in when I pull it up. I really don't want to do any tilting with this. So up. There we go. I'm not going to do anything with it except for get that little air bubble out of there. Okay. So that's what I was looking for. I just want it to sit just like that. So if you're going to get an idea, this is what I want to put on the wood planks, the small wood planks. because I can never draw a flower. So this is as close to it as I can get. All right, so we're gonna let this dry really good, and then I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna practice the blending again. I just don't have that skill. That's why I'm practicing. I don't have the skill. I don't have the technique. I know what needs to be done. I just simply can't pull it off. So I will move on and I'll be back. Okay, guys. The blending portion of this project is done. And no, it did not come out quite right. But once again, I'm trying to teach myself how to blend this acrylic paint. The green one at the bottom is what I was going for, where I wanted dark going into light. So I have the effect, but it has streaks in it. The black one to the right is really smooth, but you would never know that this was black and white. The black overpowered it, so there's something I did wrong there. The blue in the center, it has a little bit of blending, but it has streaks, and the very first one at the top, I did also have streaks. So this is something I have not mastered. I figured with a big canvas, I could practice on it and try to get better at it, but I just have to keep practicing because these are not coming out the way I would like them to come out. I used to blend nicely with oil, and that was, God, years back. I've done some oil paintings, and the blending is a lot easier. It's not so easy with this acrylic, and I just have to practice it to learn it. But anyway, the one wood plank that I did the pour on, which is at the top, and I'll show it to you, this is still really, really wet. But that came out the way I wanted it to come out. So at least that gives you an idea of where I'm headed with this big canvas. So what I'll do is I'll be back. I'll do some more wood planks. They're going to take, gosh, maybe about 3 days to dry. But I'll come back when I've done some more uh, wood planks, and you'll see just where I'm heading. I'm thinking about resining this canvas when it's done, but there's something that I did differently on the project that I showed you at the beginning of this video. It stresses me out because I have to build a dam when I have different layers of, of medium on my canvas. And I want to make sure that it covers the top. We know it levels out. And then sometimes that top is just not covered. So with the Egyptian one where I had the plank and the eye, I resined those separately from the board. And then I stuck those on. So now everything is resined. So I think I'm going to do the same thing here, is I'm going to resin my canvas and then resin the wood planks separately. And then I'll just glue those on when it's finished. Anyway, I will be back to show you a little bit more progress. Okay, guys, I am back. And I have completed what I'm going to do on the little wood planks and the little wood squares. And yes, I am totally out of my comfort zone because I don't use all of these colors and I don't use all of these designs when I'm doing anything. So this is a first. So I wanted, since all of them are done, I wanted to tell you what I did. I want to show you what I did so you can see the different techniques with the acrylic pour. So this one up top, this was a balloon pour. And that's where you blow up a balloon, you lay your paint on, and you just dab it. And then I had a couple of small squares that I lined those up and I did those also. I also went back to trying to shade on a smaller section to see if I could handle it. It's still not blending the way I would like it to blend, but I tried it. Then this one here, and it's the couple of squares, I have never used the garnet color. So that is a garnet red and a paint, which I did a pour, and then I used a comb to get the lines in there. Just like I used the balloon for that one. Then these 5 over here, as you can see, this was the strainer that I did. I did the first one. That's the little strainer that I did. And like I said, same strainer, same paint, same ratio of Flotro. But as you can see, there's not one that's actually identical. So that's just how this paint works. This one down bottom here, I'm very impressed with. This, I used a blow dryer. And I wasn't too sure this was going to work. But I figure it's another technique. Let me go ahead and try it. And it worked. Because these planks are just 5 inches. They're 5 by 5. So what I did was I didn't use a lot of paint, but I blocked off half of the nozzle on the blow dryer and at a low speed. So I was able to get at least some of my, the flames that you get when you use the blow dryer. So that's pretty much all of that has to be done. It has to be resined, and then I'm going to put those on the large canvas. So over to the large canvas, I'm going to pick out some wild colors for the background. This is going to take a while to do because I don't have a steady hand, and I know I'm going to have to tape off some of these lines, and I don't want any paint to go on what I've already done because this is just not straight painting. This was blending, so I really don't want to get any paint on that. And then the other thing I think I'm going to do is I think that background, I want it textured or some sort of layer on it. So I'm probably going to lay the paint down heavy. So then that'll take another 2 or 3 days to dry. But anyway, when I come back, everything should be resined and put together. And let's hope I come out with something that's unique and pretty. I'll be back. Okay, guys, I am done with this out of my comfort zone project. It was supposed to be a practice blending project. It was fun. That's all I can say. It's definitely not something that I would have normally done. Mixing different types of pours and then putting them on one canvas. But that was the fun part, especially when I was able to do the blow dryer pour on a 5 by 5 inch wood plank. So anyway, this is it. It's not too bad. Very bright, very colorful, and very busy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the content, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And please come back because I'm always coming up with some sort of creation. Have a great day.